Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here. Hope you're doing well. Weekly track roundup. It's where I talk about tracks that dropped over the week, except the week before last week was a holiday week. So this weekly track roundup is kind of 2 weeks. So it's a bunch of tracks in this episode. Let's go! Linked down below before I get into these tracks is our Turntable Lab link. You can get a colorful pressing of a record over there. We get kickback from it. Also, our Patreon link too, if you want to get some bonus extra monthly content like Let's Argues, classic album listening parties, hit that up. And shout out also to our sponsor, the good people over at The Ridge. They make these sexy, sleek, awesome little minimalist metal-plated wallets that are amazing, are a convenience and an innovation of modern society and living. Hit up the link down below. Use promo code MELON to get 10% off of your Ridge order. And let's get into the worst tracks of the week, shall we? All the songs that I talk about in this video, that I reference in this video, are linked down below. So you can check them out there. Cool? Cool. Okay, let's do it. First off, new collaborative track from the Chainsmokers. It's a generic fusion of electronic dance music and pop with no soul whatsoever, not distinct at all, bland and boring. Forget about it. Moving on from there, new super unseasoned Christmas song from Taylor Swift, Christmas Tree Farm. She comes from a Christmas tree farm. That's sort of the origin of the track and everything. However, it does not make this incredibly boring Christmas song, one of the most boring Christmas songs I've heard in my entire life, any more likable. We also have a new track from Montreal where Kevin Barnes, for whatever reason, continues down this weird 80s new wave obsession he seems to have with this new of Montreal material. I will say this track seems a little bit more psychedelic and experimental than the last one, but aesthetically, it's still pretty bad, and I don't see what Kevin artistically really brings to the whole new wave thing. We also have a new track from Holy Fuck, which sounds like a very bad half-assed remix of some awful, forgettable, like psych pop or psych rock band. It also features the singer of the band Pond, and it's just sort of mind-blowing that this is the same group that came out with that amazing self-titled years and years and years ago, and now they're just really dropping bland electronic dance music with a sort of boring indie edge to it, I guess. We also have Halsey, who has dropped 2 tracks this week. The track Finally Beautiful Stranger, which is a really terrible acoustic cut, which basically sounds like, I don't know, she's having like an acoustic Lady Gaga type of moment. It's a little Taylor Swift-ish, I suppose, as well. And then she comes out with this very odd Suga's interlude, obviously the dude from BTS. And while I don't mind his vocal performance on the track, I feel like you're just dropping an interlude featuring him prior to the release of your album to hype the record up. It's not even really a complete song. It's just an interlude track, and it feels like an interlude track. So why would you drop an interlude tease toward your album, even if it has a member of BTS on it? And despite the fact that you helped sort of bring attention to Boy With Love, you're just getting this dude on an interlude? I mean, I hope he's on more of the record. Would hope you get more than an interlude appearance, but whatever. All right, let's move on to the tracks that I thought were kind of meh. Not terrible, but certainly worth pointing out. The Who seem to be getting ready to put out their first record in about 13 years or so. A big boomer energy on this track, yes, but it's still a pretty solid rock song. The title of the track is I Don't Want to Get Wise. It's not bad. Give it a try. Give it a shot. If you like The Who's classic, more raw, straightforward, rocky, British invasion, sort of early era type material, you'll probably dig on this track. Excuse me. Also, the band, or rather Dutch duo Homesick, is back with a new track that sounds almost like what you would get if you fuse like some Animal Collective-esque neo-psychedelia with post-punk. and it's not that bad. Again, the Homesick. The name of the track is Kaïn. There were some aspects of it that I found to be maybe not gelling all that well aesthetically, but I still think it's a pretty cool combination of sounds, and I will be looking forward to more material from these guys dropping on Sub Pop. We also have Reko Nasty coming through with a new track. Hard is the name of this new one. And gotta say, while she is screaming her brains out on this track, Rico has had better hooks. Rico has been on better instrumentals. I mean, the bass on this one is pretty huge, but it's a pretty generic trap beat. A lot of the beats on the Kenny Beats project she had recently were more unique. A lot of her metal-influenced and infused beats are a lot better than what she has going on here. While it does sound a bit more cleaned up than usual, and I think it sounds more commercially viable, I don't think this is one of her better songs. Moving on from there, Pop 1280, a band who we have not heard from in a while. Maybe some of you have never heard of them at all because my reviews of their stuff on the main channel here have not sort of garnered the most reviews or anything. From what I've been able to make out so far from their newest LP, they're really going like cold wave. They're really going dark wave. If you love that punky, super moody, super ominous type of synth-based music, you are probably going to like what they have going on with this new LP. Some of the vocals I found kind of bland. Some of the tracks I found underwhelming. This one goes a bit harder, though. Give it a try. Give it a shot. It's not a sound that's for everybody, but for those of you who are a bit more gothed out and synthed out than the average person, Boom Operator is the name of the track. Give it a shot. We also have Oliver Tree, who is back with a new kind of pop rock jam with a strong acoustic backing. He's written songs that sound like this before, and I don't think this is one of the more unique or catchy tunes that he's been responsible for penning. So, I don't know. I'm pretty on the fence with this track. I'm wondering how much versatility is really in Mr. Tree's, I guess, tool belt, because you're kind of painting yourself into a corner on this one, in my view. I feel like more instrumental diversity and better production moving forward would be the way to go. But with this new single, I feel like he's almost just painting himself into a corner. I don't know. Moving on from there, M. Ward has come through with a very, I guess, pleasant new single. It's sweet on the ears. Migration of Souls is the title of it. It's dreamy. The instrumentation is pillowy. M. Ward's voice is as whispery and as sleepy as ever. Makes you want to take a nap, though it is very pleasant on the ears. I wish it was a tad bit bolder. Not that M. Ward has ever been an in-your-face songwriter, but I feel like there was a bit more to sink your teeth into on his older stuff. But hey, what are you going to do? All right, Kvelertak has come through with a brand new track. While I am liking that this new song is not as overtly and annoying, kind of like rock and roll type of tune. I wish they kind of stayed more in that metal lane that they broke onto the scene with. Bråtebrann is the name of this new track. I hope that's the name that you, I hope that's the way that you would pronounce it, rather. I'm still feeling like a weird 70s rock vibe coming off of this track with a lot of harmony, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Those anthemic melodies is part of what made the band's debut album so fantastic and so amazing. But I feel like the further they go along, the more they drift from being a hard-edged metal band with some super melodic and catchy qualities, and they're just like kind of dulling their teeth. It doesn't have as much punch, doesn't have as much kick. It's just feels like a slightly more watered-down version of what I miss so severely from their first record. So, I don't know. New Colucci Selita. While I have always appreciated, or at least appreciated since her last full-length album, about Callie is that she comes through with an amazing array of influences and sounds on her last full-length record. Cool combinations of styles that are executed incredibly well, with some very sensual and sexy and catchy vocals. And while I get that this new single over here is also a reflection of all of those influences going into her stuff, there's a bit of Latin pop in here. There's a bit of trap music in here. I feel like this combination of sounds applied in this way is pretty much par the course for a lot of commercial music these days, and just doesn't really feel like her, doesn't feel unique in any way whatsoever. The song itself, at the core of all of it, I think is pretty sleepy, though. I don't know, maybe with better instrumentation and better production, it would pop and it would be a bit more, I guess, compelling. But with this very generic, washed out, light on the ears, thin and aesthetically bland fusion of Latin music and trap, I just don't see what makes the song so interesting or so special. It just kind of falls flat in my ears. Moving on from there, Luminous Spaces, which is a brand new collaborative cut from John Hopkins and Kelly Lee Owens. I think there's some admirable qualities of this track. However, one of them is just not the first few minutes of it, which I think features some okay vocals from Miss Owens. But the instrumentation in the background is just way too ethereal, drags on forever. Once the beat really gets going on the track, it is so gratifying and so exciting. But I just wish that Miss Owens had more vocal presence in the portions after, like this intro. And I don't know, more of the track was spent on those beats and on those grooves. This first leg is just so patience testing, and I don't really see what makes the wait really worth it once the beat really kicks in. It just feels like I'm listening to an entirely different song. You know, it's not like that intro built up with a musical progression that felt like all that connected to begin with. So while there are aspects of this track that I like, the intro just really kind of turns me off. Moving on from there, HMLTD is back with the track Y, which is easily the oddest song I've ever heard from them. It's kind of like a weird, abstract, pretty instrumental piece. Sounds unlike anything I've heard from them so far. And it's also connected to this visual, illustrated music video that it seems very much tied to. I can't imagine too many people enjoying this piece or listening to it without the visuals attached to it. So I don't know. It kind of seems more like a multimedia venture in a way, though HMLTD has dropped music videos and stuff before. This seems almost like they were soundtracking, you know, like a visual piece or something for the most part. I think it's okay. You know, I guess it's cool. They're branching out, taking some risks, doing some different stuff, but this is not really an HMLTD song I'll be going back to anytime soon, I guess. Also, Harry Styles, Adore You. It's a decent pop single. I mean, I guess the hook kind of pops. It's got a pulse, but aesthetically and vocally, it's a pretty average song from Harry. I can't say I'm really looking forward to this new LP in the same way I was his last record. Not that I was all that crazy about that record once it eventually dropped anyway, so I don't know. I'm not really excited for this new Harry, sadly. We also have Flatbush Zombies. Yes, they are back. Monica featuring Tech Nine. Instrumental's fine. The zombies sound okay on the track, but having Tech Nine in the mix sounds about as good as one would assume having Tech Nine in the mix would be with a group such as Flatbush Zombies. I mean, I guess it's admirable that they were ambitious enough to want to make the crossover happen. And I guess in a way it kind of works in that both groups are a little dark, edgy, creepy in a way, but stylistically, I just don't see how their rap styles complement each other and meld all that much. I mean, once Tech comes in, he sounds absolutely goofy in the context of a Flatbush Zombie song. So I just don't get what brings it all together, really. Moving on from there, Duster is back. Famed slowcore group Duster has a new record on the way. It's actually dropping on the 13th, I believe. Letting Go is the name of this new track. I think it's okay. I mean, granted, I've never been the biggest Duster fan in the world. I get their older records are classic, and it's been a long time. This is the comeback record. And listening to this track, it sounds like they haven't really missed a beat. You know what I mean? It sounds like they have not missed a beat. But can't say that means it's automatically speaking to me or anything. But hey, hardcore fans of this band and this genre have reason to celebrate. Comeback album dropping very soon. We also have the Chemical Brothers being remixed by the Avalanches, which is always cause for excitement, I suppose. I think the beat is not strong enough and the weird vocal snippets kind of overtake the thing a little bit more than I would have wanted it to, but still, it is literally the Avalanches crossing over with the Chemical Brothers here, which who doesn't want that? We also have Bambara coming through with a very, very, very sleepy single, Sing Me to the Street, which definitely does not kick and punch and fight in the same way that the last single did. I could see this slow burner, working a bit more for me in the context of the entire record, but it's very slow, dramatic, spaced out post-punk with a somewhat gothy twist. I sort of liken this band in post-punk terms, their style to The Doors a little bit. It's not bad. Give it a try. Give it a shot if they're new to you. And A.V. Terror has a new project on the way. He has dropped sort of a 2-part track over here, Red Light Water Show and Disc 1. And they are drony and ambient as hell. Can't say they're doing all that much for me personally, but hey, if you want to hear AV go in this direction, and I know there are people out there who don't want to miss out on a single piece of solo Animal Collective material, give it a shot, pay attention to it. There you go. All right, Algiers has come through with a new track as well, the industrial, post-punk, soul, rock and roll outfit known as Algiers, one of the most versatile and revolutionary radical bands operating right now. Void is the name of their new single. It's very punky, it's very direct. There's some aspects of it that really remind me of Dead Kennedys, which I think is great. I mean, I love Dead Kennedys. But I think compositionally it's a little one-dimensional for them. Sort of seems to get by in a lot of raw energy, though I doubt that is really kind of one of their strong points that sort of carries one of their songs. I mean, Algiers, at the end of the day, musical innovation and songwriting is really kind of the bread and butter of their stuff for me. Also messaging. I don't see how just kind of like breaking things down to the most rudimentary elements and sort of just going full punk, how that really benefits them all that much. But hey, this song could certainly grow on me once I hear the entire record. That's entirely possible. Just thought it was okay. All right, let's get into the tracks I thought were the best tracks this week. We are flying through this episode, I suppose, given how many songs I've had to go through. First off, The Weeknd, who I also was going to talk about last week had I done a weekly track roundup, but I didn't, so I'm catching up here. We have 2 songs to talk about here in regards to Abel, because new record on the way, 2 teasers, 2 singles, and I enjoy both of them. Heartless, I did a review of on the Fantano channel. I talked about it at length over there. I think it is a very solid song, super straightforward, super catchy, in Abel's usual style. I was hoping for or wanting a bit more of an aesthetic change-up, but still I enjoyed the tune at the core of all of it. However, the other track here, Blinding Lights, is that aesthetic change-up, because this track is kind of new wavy. Very 80s, a bit more linear. Not quite as sharp or as catchy as Heartless, in my opinion, but still a very enjoyable cut, and I think a reason to look forward to the new LP. Not sure if the entire record is going to sound this 80s. Most likely not, but I guess it was kind of a fun little costume change stylistically for Abel to play into on his new LP. Moving on from there. We have Tame Impala, Posthumous Forgiveness. Gave this track a full-length review on the Fantano channel as well. Liked it quite a bit. Thought the lyrics were pretty thoughtful from Kevin, and I loved the kind of psychedelic, kind of synthy, multi-phased instrumental, pretty ambitious song, and still looking forward to that Tame Impala record in 2020. All right. We have a new track also from the band Shopping, which Initiative is the name of the song, and it sounds like some really quality post-punk with some, critical and thoughtful lyrics, some pretty personality-loaded vocals, and a dynamic instrumental. Give it a shot. Give it a try. Very groovy. Very fun. We also have Grimes with a track from her forthcoming LP, My Name is Dark. It's kind of a lo-fi, somewhat gothy rock track with some baby vocals and a lot of atmosphere. Some weird, disturbing rushes of screams. It's pretty colorful. It's pretty fun. Last minute drags on for quite a bit, in my opinion, but I still think it's a solid song, and I guess is one of a few reasons to look forward to Grimes' new LP in 2020. Caribou has come through with a new single as well. Very Arthur Russell, Arthur Russell ish is what I'm trying to say here. You and I, it's a cool fusion of art, pop, and dance music. Light on the vocals, kind of a colorful, groovy, linear instrumental. Digging it quite a bit. And also shout out over here to an artist who I'm just now becoming familiar with, Alice Longyu Gao, with some production on this new track over here from Dylan Brady of 100 gecs fame. Rich Bitch Juice is the name of it. And if you like the absurdity, if you like the bangers of 100 gecs, but you want to hear, I guess, swagger-filled, braggadocious singer on the track, on the cut, give it a try. Give it a shot. I'm digging it. I'm liking it. Awesome. All right. We have a track over here also from The Professionals, which is a pseudonym that Madlib and Oh No function under. They have a new track out here titled Superhumans featuring Chino XL and Elzhi, which is a pretty weird combination of lyricists, but I'll take it. Given how good the instrumental is, given how good generally the lyricism is across the track. Dig it, dig it, dig it. Try it, try it, try it. And that is the last track in our weekly track roundup, everybody. Remember, all of those songs are linked down below so you can try them for yourself. And once more, we have our sponsor, The Ridge, linked below, our Patreon, Turntable Lab 2. And we'll see you in the next one, guys. We will see you in the next one. Anthony Fantano, Weekly Track Roundup,